glory should be some devotees. All glory should be some devotees. All glory should Shri Shri Guru Gaura. All glory should Shri Guraganya Gana Gota Guloduharam Goranga Gudatama Gopyada Kopa Briksham Gopala Gadarati Dam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Charanarotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dirayam Vedi Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Davante Chamadye Chahari Sarvatra Giyate Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhamam Dayate Giryam Yad Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda He Madhava Padunga Luchi Makaranda Se Makaranda Anande Bolo Hari Hari Harinkana Me Vandavela Parikori Me Chakadola Se Chakadolam Kapalaye Manamo Rahunirantare Manamo Nirantare Rahu Krishna, Boli Jiva Jao. Krishna, Boli Jao Jiva. Moteu Dada Dada Dava. Moteu Dada Dada Dava. Moteu Dada Dada Dava. Dharma Projini Kaita Vota Paramo Shanam Sitam Vedyam Vastavamata Vastu Shivadam Tapatraya Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune Kute Kimba Parayishvara Sanjo Hridyava Rudite Tukati Vishu Shushu Vistakshana Nigamakopa Namitam Palam Shukamukada Mitada Vasamritam Pibata Bhagavatam Vasamalayam Moro Anarto Pasamam Samshad Bhakti Yogam Vihoksade Lokasha Janito Vidvam Shakve Sabhakta Samhitam Yashambha Shriyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Udpadyate Pumsha Shokamoha Bhayavaha Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramaham Samekam Amalam Gyanam Paramiyate Tatra Gyana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam Vaishnavyam Aviskritam Tachchindam Supatem Vajayana Varo Bhaktyadanuchandaraha Artoyam Brahmasutanam Bharatata Vinayanaha Gayatri Vashiruposo Vedanta Paribrimitaha Sarva Vediti Hasanam Sadam Sadam Samudvitam Sarva Vedanta Sadam Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadra Samyutta Chipta Shanam Yatra Sadhuchi Kuchim Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swadu Shri Bhagavatam Tate Veda Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 14, Ideal Family Life, text number 13. That's what's on the board. Please repeat. Krimivid Bhasman Histantam. Krimivid Bhasman Histantam. Kevadam Tucham Kalevadam. Vedam Tucham Kalevadam. Tvatadiya Vatir Bharya. Tvatadiya Vatir Bharya. Vayam Atma Navishadihi. Vayam Atma Navishadihi. Vayam Atma Navishadihi. Vayam Atma Navishadihi. Krivid Vasmanishtantam. Krivid Vasmanishtantam. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vayam Atma Navashadi. Krimivid Vasmanishtantam. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vayam Atma Navashadi. Krimivid Vasmanishtantam. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vayam Atma Navashadi. Krimivid Vasmanishtantam. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vayam Atma Navashadi. Krimivid Vasmanishtantam. Vedam Tucham Kalevaram. Vatadiyarati Varya. Vayam Atma Navashadi. Krimi, insects, germs. Vit, stool. Bhasma, ashes. Nishta, attachment. Antam, at the end. Kva, what is. Idam, this body. Tucham, very insignificant. Kalevaram, material tabernacle. Kva, what is that? Tadiraktihi, attraction for that body. Varya, wife. Kvayam, what is the value of this body?
What is the value of this body?
Atma, the supreme soul.
The supreme soul.
Navacharihi, all pervading like the sky.
All pervading like the sky.
Translation: through proper deliberation, one should give up attraction to his wife's body, because that body will ultimately be transformed into small insects, stool, or ashes. What is the value of this insignificant body? How much greater is a supreme being who is all pervading like the sky? Please repeat. Through proper deliberation.
Through proper deliberation.
One should give up attraction.
One should give up attraction
to his wife's body.
To his wife's body.
Because that body.
Because that body
will ultimately be transformed.
Will ultimately be transformed
into small insects.
Into small insects.
Stool or ashes.
Stool or ashes.
What is the value of this insignificant body?
What is the value of this insignificant body?
How much greater?
How much greater
is the supreme being?
Is the supreme being?
Who's all pervading.
Who is all pervading.
Like the sky.
Like the sky.
Purport by His Divine Grace, HG Madhavananda Prabhu. Here also, the same point is stressed. One should give up attachment for his wife, or in other words, for sex life. If one is intelligent, he can think of his wife's body as nothing but a lump of matter that will ultimately be transformed into small insects, stool, or ashes. In different societies, there are different ways of dealing with the human body at the time of the funeral ceremony. In some societies, the body is given to the vultures to be eaten. And therefore, the body ultimately turns to vulture stool. Sometimes the body is merely abandoned, and in that case, the body is consumed by small insects. In some societies, the body is immediately burned after death, and thus it becomes ashes. In any case, if one intelligently considers the constitution of the body and the soul beyond it, what is the value of the body? Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta sharirana. The body may perish at any moment, but the soul is eternal. If one gives up attachment for the body and increases his attachment for the spirit soul, his life is successful. It is merely a matter of deliberation. Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda in Krishna Samhita, he says that subtle discrimination is extremely important for Vaishnavas. Such a nice statement. Subtle discrimination is extremely important for Vaishnavas. So this subject matter in front of us today requires subtle discrimination. If we apply gross discrimination to it, we won't understand, we may misapply it, there may be some serious problem. So we see that in society today, in our Vaishnava society, there's a kind of tension between renunciation and family life, and there's so many verses in the Bhagavatam and other places describing how women are Maya, and they make devotees uncomfortable, and make non-devotees uncomfortable. We'd like to try to explore a little bit of this today. Let's begin with the third canto of the Bhagavatam. Lord Kapila Dev tells his mother Devahuti, Nata tasya bhaven moho bandhischanya prasangataha yosit sangi yata pumso yata tat sangi sangataha. Exact same verse, word for word, appears in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, but just one word different. Krishna tells Uddhava, he says, Bhavet klesha. This verse says, Bhaven moho. Natata Shibhavet Klesho, there's no type of suffering, klesha. Or Notata Shibhavet Moho, there's no illusion that's equal. Bandhas Chanya Pisangataha Yosit Sangadita Pumso. That is equivalent to Yosit Sangha, to association with women, Yata Pumso, Yata Tat Sangi Sangataha, or men who are attached to women. There's no bondage, Bandhas Chanya Pisangataha, which equals that. But this also applies both ways. Actually, the word yosit, which is usually used for women, has no gender. Very interesting point. Yosit can mean man or can mean woman. According to Amara Kosh, yosit just simply refers to something which increases the material energy. And Lord Kapila Dev, therefore, he tells his mother also, Tam atmano vijaniyat patya patya grihatmakam daiva pasavitam mityam mirgayor gayanam yata. That a woman, she should consider her husband, her house, and her children to be the arrangement of the external energy of the Lord for her death. Just as the sweet singing of the hunter is death for the deer. So, as devotees, sometimes it's hard for us to distinguish instructions which are meant for general persons and instructions which are meant for devotees. And especially because we're not really sure if we're devotees or not. And we don't always behave very well as devotees. And Srila Prabhupada, he said, therefore we need Vanashram. And the devotees said, but Prabhupada, we can just chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said, you can't chant Hare Krishna, you're not devotees. Right? If you're chanting Hare Krishna, that's sufficient, then why are you falling down? Okay, that's clear. But then we read other statements. For example, we recently printed something from Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod. I don't know if I can find it in our Bindu magazine. From Jaiva Dharma, where one Vaishnava is asking Thakur Bhakti, that is it possible for Grihastha to become a Vaishnava without following Vanashram Dharma? That's a $64,000 question. Is it possible for Grihastha, the devotee who's a householder, to become a Vaishnava without following Vanashram Dharma? And the answer, a very wonderful answer, but an answer that we have to think about with subtle discrimination. He says, if you only knew how broad and magnanimous the Vaishnava religion is. Another name for the Vaishnava Dharma is Jaiva Dharma. The religion for all human beings. Every human being is qualified to take up Vaishnava Dharma. Even outcasts may embrace Vaishnava Dharma and live as Grihastha Bhaktas. And for them, there's no Vanashram. I'll read it again. Even outcasts, someone who's not part of the Vanashram system, which is me, can embrace Vaishnava Dharma and live as Grihastha Bhaktas. For them, there's no Vanashram. Those who break the Vanashram rules of sannyas, they fall down from sannyas, may, by associating with Vaishnavas, attain pure bhakti. And they may be householder devotees. And for them, there are no rules of Vanashram. Those persons who, because of their misdeeds, have left the Vanashram system, may still, along with their children, take shelter of pure bhakti in the association of devotees. Then they are householder devotees. But they're also not part of the Vanashram system. There are two types of Grihastha Bhaktas. Vanashram Dharma Yukta, those persons within Vanashram, and Vanashram Dharma Rahita, or outside the Vanashram system. And the question is, of these two, the Grihastha Bhakta who's within Vanashram, and the Grihastha Bhakta, devotee, who's not within Vanashram, the question comes, which is the best? Nice answer. The one who has more devotion. He's the best. And as for those who have no devotion, The materialistic society will consider that those who are within the Varnashram society, they're the best of the two. Because at least they have some position in society, while the other's an outcast. However, from the spiritual point of view, they're both degraded, for neither has any devotion. So, if someone reads this, then he may think, what's the purpose of all this? Why is Srila Prabhupada speaking about Varnashram Dharma then? It requires some subtle discrimination. If we want to follow Varnashram Dharma, it means you should follow Manasamhita, the Smriti Shastras. But Prabhupada and our acharyas continually say you can't do that. Prabhupada said you can't read Manasamhita, because according to Manasamhita, you're Yavana Malaksha, and you're not supposed to read Manasamhita. Okay, I'm becoming more confused now. Srila Prabhupada, he said that we should have Varnashram Dharma, but Varnashram Dharma means following Manasamhita, but we can't follow Manasamhita. I think Bhakti Raghava Maharaj put it very wonderfully. A few days ago I told him that this is one of the most important things I got from his talks, that a discussion he mentioned that took place with Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu, where he was saying we have to have Smriti Shastra, but the problem is the Smriti Shastra, A, has been interpolated, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we don't know what's to be trusted and what's not. We sometimes quote some verses from it. I may quote a verse or two from it in this class today. But it's not really relevant for us. And what is relevant for us? And so he suggested we have to have a new Smriti Shastra. Now that's problematic, because who's going to write that? You may say that's problematic, but it's not. Because Smriti Shastras in general, there's so many different Smriti Shastras, there's so many different authors of them, and different people have faith in different authors. So in our society, we need to have some rules like that. And one book, Srimati Krishna Maharaj may write something, and that may be appreciated here. But they may not appreciate that in America, they may not appreciate that in China, they may have some other book. But we need to have some rules. Now, what about this Varnashram thing, and how Prabhupada said we have to have this, but at the same time Bhaktivinoda is saying that basically none of us have to follow this. None of us are part of it, because Varnashram means following Manasamhita, and we can't touch Manasamhita. Today in India, I've been living in India for 23 years in Orissa, which is one of the most conservative places in all of India. They're very much attached to Varnashram Dharma, but practically nobody there understands Varnashram Dharma properly. It's practically been lost. So we're doing something. Prabhupada said he wanted Varnashram Dharma, but Prabhupada also, if you study what he said, practically he equated Varnashram Dharma with simple living and high thinking, with rural living. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's interesting, in Jaiva, in Krishna Samhita, he speaks about the ideal example of Varnashram Dharma is Dwarka, which is not rural living, which is a city. Varnashram Dharma doesn't mean rural living. But Srila Prabhupada gave it in a very simple way. Why? Because the most important thing is bhakti. But at the same time, we need a place to live. We need some rules.